Hey, Haley.
Hello.
Hey, Barb. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm
Good.
really glad we could go ahead and jump on tonight's call because I know, Haley, you have been crushing it in math. And I just wanted to have this time to really celebrate that with you because, after putting in so much work, this is the best part, right? To see the end of the journey and to see your confidence shooting up and then taking it into other areas of math. And eventually we're going to be doing some ACT prep here moving forward. I'm just super pumped to be able to celebrate that with you. And really this call is really just to rehash that journey because I know that there are other students out there like yourself that can find inspiration from what it is that you did, right? Whether it was, you know what, I'm tired of feeling stressed and feeling frustrated about math and feeling that anxiety around it. I want to get out of there. How do I do it? And I'm just really excited to kind of have that conversation with you tonight, Haley, and just really dig into that. Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Well, I'm hoping, Haley, that you can maybe open us up and just kind of fill us in, where you were, 3 or 4 months ago before you joined the Algebra Acceleration program that I was running. Where were you sitting at with your math then?
Well, I was just really frustrated and doing the homework and the tests and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
would like I knew I wasn't gonna I never want to just stop trying. So it's just very frustrating continuing to do something and pushing to try to get the answer and not getting the answer and just being frustrated all the
Yeah.
time. So I feel like relearning the basics kind of just helped me be able to understand topics more and do things faster for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely fully understand everything that I was learning.
Yeah, because for you, you were actually in an Algebra 2 class. But you know what? When I talked to you and I talked to your mom and I talked to your dad, we kind of realized, you know what? It's not really Algebra 2 that might be the problem. It might be some fundamental concepts that maybe we skipped along the way. That, you know
Yeah.
what? If we learned those things, if we mastered them, man, Algebra 2 would be a breeze because, it just flows down in order. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of students struggle with that. They might be having trouble in geometry and algebra 2, and they think, oh, I'm bad at this topic. I'm like, no, guys, it comes all the way back down to like the basics of math, which was like your basic arithmetic and how you put together positive and negative numbers. Does it
Hmm.
always come down to that, Haley?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And if you don't know it, man, you get all the way to the finish line and then you trip and fall, right?
Hmm.
All the way there. So fill me in. When you were in that state where things weren't quite making sense, how was that making you feel?
Just very frustrated. I felt very stuck and
Mm-hmm.
I just I didn't know what to do about it because I would still work very hard in math, but I was just not getting to where I wanted to be. So,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And I think that there's something to be said there, that maybe if we just keep trying harder and pushing further and trying to like grunt force our way through it, sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? Maybe we
Right,
need to go backwards to figure out those key pieces that we're missing. And man, maybe life could be a whole lot easier,
right.
right? So, Barb, when we kind of heard Haley's side of the story, what were you seeing when she was kind of struggling with her math?
Kind of like she said, just a lot of frustration, a lot of time being spent. I just need to spend more time and thinking that that was the solution to getting, better. I'm not working hard enough, just not having the
Yeah.
confidence that she was doing enough, but yet she was, using all of her spare time to try to, to conquer it, but it just was kind of running in circles. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's been nice for her to have that peace of mind, that extra confidence, and, just feeling she has a resource to go to, like, because at school sometimes, the teachers don't have time or they're not very
Mm-hmm.
thorough with going through stuff. So she always had like, felt like somebody kind of had her back, to, if
Yeah.
she had questions or needed further explanation or, um, and two, going back through those fundamentals, because I thought that too, like just from starting in, elementary school when they started doing those, the speed math tests and, try to get memorizing all your problems and things like that. So I'm real pleased with, how it's gone. And
well, I will be the first one to
her.
tell you that your daughter has no problem putting in all the effort and pushing forward and saying, hey, is she doing exactly what I'm telling her? Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
The one quote that I love though is, do what is easy and life will be hard. Do what is hard in the beginning and life will be easy. Right. And if you connect that to math, it's like, well, we got to put in all the work on the front end to really lock down those fundamentals. And then you know what? It's just a maintenance game from there. Right. Okay. We added another topic. Cool. Builds off of steps 1 through 5. No problem. I did the hard work in the beginning and now it's more of a coast, right? You can enjoy the ride instead of, oh man, I'm sweating, I'm stressed, I can't go to sleep, I got a test tomorrow. Like we don't want that, right?
Right.
So, what was your experience like in the program, Hayley? Did you feel like you had the information at your fingertips to kind of go to and sort through it and then work through the classes with me?
Yeah, I definitely did. It really helped just like going over things because all these little things that I forgot about and that like were re-solidified in the lessons. It was nice to just have that because, like it's not like we're going to go over that in my Algebra 2 class. It's kind of just go, go, go.
Yeah.
So it was really good to have all those resources and to have you to go to for if I had any questions. That was really helpful.
Good. I know that when you're in those upper level classes, they expect you to know all the other concepts from pre-algebra and algebra and geometry. And it's expected, right? And so when you are up there, it's harder to ask questions because you're like, you told me I should know this. And so then it's like, I don't want to raise my hand. And what happens, those things start compounding after a while, right?
Right.
The other thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about was, before we kind of started the class, you and I were kind of doing like an independent study to kind of launch you into the group program, right? The reason that I put that in there was because I wanted you to understand that in order for you to get from point A to point B where you wanted to get to, we kind of had to take ownership. We had to take responsibility of our own education, right? Instead of just relying on me or your teacher or your parents, it was like, okay, like I got to own this if I want to get there. Do you think that was helpful in realizing that and working through that stuff, Hayley?
Yeah, I think it was helpful just to know like the amount of effort I had to put in and just to know that, there was going to be work to do, but yeah, I think it was very helpful.
I think that's my way of testing you guys. Because when I am on the call with you guys to see if you guys even want to be in the program, I think I asked you multiple times, hey, where are you on that spectrum from 1 to 10 in terms of your commitment, right? And I always want someone to be on that 10 because you know what, if we come in shy of that, you hit one barrier, you hit one roadblock, and you know what? 99% of people want to just throw up their hands and they want to quit. Right. And so we have to get to that point where we're like, yeah, I want this. I want to do whatever it takes to bust through those barriers, right? To get to the other side. And you did that. You proved that to me right in the beginning. And a lot of the times that's a wake-up call for students, right? Usually they've been coddled to a little bit. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, okay, I got to get this done. And I got to find the time to do it. Right. What would you say about that, about the time management skills needed to kind of complete everything?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had to set aside more time, like after school and just not spend as much time on my phone or doing whatever else I wanted to do, procrastinating on my actual homework. So I think it was definitely a good lesson about, just cutting certain things out of your schedule to make you more efficient and productive.
Did you see that, Barb, when she was
Yeah,
going
for
through it?
sure. For sure. You know, once she got ramped up, you know, at first it was overwhelming because she was trying to kind of catch up and absorb
Yeah.
the first part. But then once she dug in, I didn't monitor really what she was up to. I knew that because she was like, I got to go do my math, or I got to, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't have to push. She took it upon herself. So.
Well, that's what I'm hoping to try to help students become, right? You don't want to be
Right.
someone that has to be
No.
micromanaged. It's like, hey, here's the job. I want to get here. Here's the plan. Let's
Right.
run it. Let's execute it. So yeah, Hayley, you did an awesome job there. Now in the program, you know, I typically talk about three main things. It's either, hey, we got to get our mindset right to the fact that we can do this, that it's all possible, conquering our fundamentals and challenging ourselves to just keep growing, to keep improving, to keep getting better. What do you think? It might be a combination, but which ones of those concepts do you think really, you know, hit you and kind of made you better?
Well, the fundamentals were definitely, I think, a big part of what was missing from my math skills, but pushing further, like into how those fundamentals applied to what I was learning in Algebra 2 was also very helpful, and just kind of, you know, it is good to see like just how it all connects and how it's all, yeah.
Yeah, it is one big, you know, environment where it's all connected. And sometimes people don't see that. They see all these individual things, but man, if you start piecing the dots together, it's amazing how it all funnels back down. So
Yeah.
very cool, Hayley. So, you know, after going through this process, you know, I know there's other students out there that might have the same situation where they might be in a higher level class like geometry or algebra 2, but they might not feel like they have like the foundation or that solid ground to stand on. What would you recommend to them? What advice would you give them about, you know, moving from that place of uncertainty to try to find that confidence in math?
I mean, just to not get overwhelmed by it all, and just to know that if you set aside time to put effort into relearning some things, or at least going over some of the basics, then it'll really help you in the more challenging things. And just, you know, it's not to get overwhelmed, like I said before, just because you'll figure it out. It may seem like you won't, but you definitely will.
Yeah. And I think that that's the one reason when I was structuring the course that I wanted you to be a part of a group of people that was going through the same stuff, the same struggles, the same barriers, right? Because I think it's easy to feel like, oh, I'm the only one, right? And when somebody on the call says, you know what, Kyle, I'm struggling with this, like, I don't quite get it. It's kind of, it's relieving to know, oh, I'm not by myself, right? Because I think a lot of the times we're like afraid to ask the question, or we're afraid to be singled out. And that's the worst thing you can do, right? It's understanding that, you know, we're all on the same journey. We're all trying to get to that place of feeling secure rather than feeling like we're falling apart and we don't know how the pieces go together, right? Because if you're not feeling confident in math, I bet you're not feeling confident in other areas of your life either, right? Whether that's sports or another class, it affects everything. So, you know, when you think about what you did right now, you know, going through the Algebra Acceleration Program, getting your basics figured out, doing awesome in your Algebra 2 class, and now taking it into the ACT and starting to prep for that, what do you think that this first experience has taught you about starting to do the ACT Acceleration Program with me now?
Yeah, I think, you know, I think it's part of it has helped me understand that, you know, sometimes you might have to put in a little bit extra work outside of school, and outside of schoolwork, and that not everything comes naturally to everyone. So like you might have to work a little bit harder, but that's okay because, you know, it makes you more, I don't know, accustomed to that hard work. And I definitely think the algebra course will have helped, or has helped me and will help me do the ACT prep course, just because I'll be more familiar with everything. So.
Oh, it's going to help you out tremendously. If you have your basics set, that's all that test tests you on is, hey, do I know my basic concepts? we're not doing crazy calculations there. But really, you know, I wanted to teach you how to be a problem solver. And that's what that test is how to be a focused problem solver. And if you got those things locked down, Hayley, you're going to crush it. We've already had our first call. We saw where you were, and now we can take those extra steps moving forward. So, you know, Barb, just to kind of close us out here, you know, what do you think, I guess, watching Hayley kind of make this journey, see this transformation happen, what would you tell her about what you've seen over the past 3 months?
I definitely see like a more mature outlook of, you know, handling her studies. Like she just, I don't know, she just seems to have a handle on it, where before it was just kind of like, you know, kind of like a fire drill at times, you know, trying to, sorry, hey, you know, trying to conquer each thing. But, you know, and you look at your child as they're, you know, you're preparing them to go on to college in a couple of years. And, you know, I just see that extra confidence that, you know, makes me, you know, feel like she's going to be ready. She's, you know, putting in the work. She's going to be able to handle that when she's away from home, and, you know, she's got herself organized. And
that's awesome.
Really, I feel like it really kind of stepped up a notch with having the program. So
I've been able, just over the past, you know, 3-4 months that we've been working together, Hayley, I've watched you mature so quickly in that short amount of time. And a lot of the students that I work with, it's amazing. You know, if I work with them more than a year, who I started with and who I ended with are two completely different individuals. And that's what I love about what I do, right? Is that I don't just help you with this little part of math or this little part of ACT. It's like, hey, I'm trying to like build you up. I'm trying to encourage you and like help you make that next crazy leap to that new version of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just very, very cool. And I'm just absolutely thrilled with what you've been able to do, what you've brought to the table, how hard you've worked, and everything that you've been able to achieve just in the algebra course and your Algebra 2 class through school, and now pushing forward into the ACT prep with me. I'm just super pumped to keep that journey going and see how far we can push it. So awesome, guys. Well, it has been great being able to catch up with you guys, rehash Hayley's journey, and just hear, you know, how people can go from, you know, being down and out, and then to be coming back and say, yeah, I'm like super confident now. I know exactly where I'm going, and to take that into the future is awesome. So guys, thank you again for jumping on the call with me. And I hope you guys have a great night.
Yeah. Thanks for all your
good
help.
Summer. And we'll keep pushing forward on the ACT, Hayley.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Awesome, guys. I hope you have a great night. We'll talk to you guys soon.
You too.
All right.
See ya.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.